Remember, lift with your back, not with your knees. At least I think that's how that goes. Howdy y'all, I'm Jacob, and welcome back to the ranch. I feel like it was just the other day I was talking about how unpredictable our weather has been. Well, maybe not unpredictable, but definitely a little crazy. And here it is. About 2 days ago, it was in the 90s. And now, cloudy and in the 40s. So, sure would be nice if it would stay stable for a little bit. I'm heading out here to check on the goats. Seemed like they were doing all right yesterday evening, even though we were having cold weather and winds and gusting up into the 40s. But just heading back out here and do a double check. They sure seem like they're doing all right. It's one of the nice things about feeding hay out this way. Not only are we getting a good carbon layer on top of the soil, but it also gives them something to lay in whenever it gets cold. Can I help you? They're definitely not as active as they are when it's bright and sunny out. Well, the goats are looking good. I'm gonna step over here and check on the sheep real quick. Can't remember if I mentioned this last time or not, but I think the lambing date was supposed to start on the 14th of April. And it looks like we've got at least 3 of the ewes that are in the early stages of starting to develop a bag. So I'm a little more confident now that Hercules did his job. And we should be having lambs before too long. Well, it's looking like everybody's in good shape out here. I'm gonna do a couple more checks and then I think I'm gonna head back over and see if I can get back to work on some of the panel and gate projects we've got going on. Before I get back to work, figured I'd top off their waters, and I added a new one because with all these kids, they seem to be going through water a lot quicker than normal, which I guess is normal for having a bunch of kids. Alright, water's done. Now back to work. And this is going to be the work that we're doing today. So this, hopefully you can see that well. This is one of our gate frames for the pipe panels that we've been working on over the past few months. And just like with the fence panels, what we like to do is once we have a frame built and put together the way we want it to be assembled, we'll take that frame and use it as a template for all the others. And I know y'all have seen the one that's currently in Karma's pen, and that's what we did with this one, is we used this gate frame as the template for building that one. So we've got all the pipe cut for building the next frame, so I'm gonna go get the tools pulled out and then we'll get to working on this. Alright, I think I got everything I need. Now the fun part. What's this doing out here? So one of the problems I've run into in doing this is finding a good way to get these on here and keeping them in place. We've been using these pony clamps, but they're almost a little too small for this. And of course they're plastic, so they tend to not last just real long. The way we've got these set up is on these vertical posts. The hinges are on here, so they're kind of in the way. So I usually like to stick a piece of flat strap in between here to give it just a little more space. That should help raise it up off the jig just a little bit so that it'll match its vertical post when it comes in. For these hinges, we're using some pre-made pipe hinges because I didn't really want to go through the hassle of making my own. And all they really are 2 7/8 that'll slide over the top this 2 3/8. And then for the top hinge, we have a blocking piece that goes below it. And this is what gets welded onto the vertical post. And that'll stop this top hinge, and then the bottom one just stays in place from being welded to the gate panel. But they also have to go on before we weld the frame together. You know, this really isn't that much different from woodworking, because you can never have too many clamps. And of course, when you can't find your clamps, it's kind of annoying. Well, I'm not sure where all my extra clamps went. Well, I have to do this a different way. Hammer. Need a hammer. Alright, so I can't seem to find my clamps. What I'm going to have to do is, since I've got these corners mostly where they need to be, I'm going to go ahead and tack them, and that should allow me to move clamps around to get the far side put together. Alright, so that's the outside frame tacked together. I'm going to put another tack right there real quick. That's better. Okay. So for this top stretcher, get all the dirt out of it. Little tappy tap with the hammer. Alright, everything's looking pretty good where it's at. I'm going to go ahead and weld in this side that I can get to, and I'll start with all the corners and work my way into the top post where I'll finish up. So I've got this set up at 21.5 volts and 410 inches a minute on wire feed speed. I'm still burning holes in it. As with most things, this is still a learning process for me. One of these days I'll get this down. So 21.5 and 410. Maybe I'll remember that. Probably won't though. That's not too bad. Just don't look at that one. Alright, let me see if I can get the rest of these finished up. Alright, now let's see if I can get this hinge stop in position. That might actually come in handy. There we go. I don't know what it is, but today is just not my day for welding. It's that joke that's out there. The difference between a farmer and a welder is that a welder doesn't think he can farm. I am really porking this up. It's a little bit better. For some reason, really having issues keeping that from having a lot of porosity in it. Alright, let me go see if I can finish this other one real quick. Yeah, that wasn't any better. Alright. Last thing I need to do before I can flip this and weld on the backside, I've got to get these pin receivers in. And they're just going to go in line with the other ones. They're kind of in the way. Alright, that should be everything I can reach on this side. So the next step is going to be taking this down and flipping it, which is not usually very easy. Alright, let's get to it. Sure glad I don't have a bad back or anything. Alright. How quickly can I run to the other side? Quick enough. Sure hope the boss ain't watching me. I might get in trouble. Who put those down there? Okay. That's fun. Remember, lift with your back, not with your knees. At least I think that's how that goes. Who aligned to this thing? Alright, it's in place. So now I just gotta rinse and repeat. Before I move on to the other side, one of the things I forgot to do on the last one these little block off plates. So we have a horrible time with yellow jackets and wasps around here. So all of the openings on here that don't absolutely have to be there are going to get these, so they'll seal up and the wasps won't have a home. In theory. Well, it's not particularly pretty, but it's done, and I think it'll hold together. So I'm not going to do these interior panels just yet. I want to wait until I'm able to get all the planned frames done, and then I can batch all those out at once. So what I'm going to do in the meantime is I'm going to go ahead and get this panel in place in the horse pen. That way at least it can get to work shoring up the panels that are already out there until I can get the interior ones done in the future. Alright, let's see if I can get the tractor and get this thing into place. well, I had to recruit some help, but panel's done and in place, and Pistol and the little ones back at home. So the follow up this morning, the initial AI they had earlier in the week didn't take, so they had to be rebred yesterday, and it looked like this morning she ovulated. So signs are good. I think she's got to follow up again here in 7 days to make sure that everything took, but things are looking good. It's about time to get to feeding, so I think I'm going to leave it here. Thank y'all for tagging along. I hope to see you next time on Wag Ranch.